In a shocking twist that sent tremors through South Africa's already volatile political landscape, the widow of former Foreign Minister Nathi made an explosive public accusation. Standing before a packed room of journalists and television crews in Pretoria, she alleged that economic freedom fighters, EFF, leader Julius Malema knew the truth about her husband's mysterious death and had deliberately concealed it. The revelation immediately sent shockwaves across the nation. Citizens, politicians, and media outlets were stunned into disbelief as tensions between the ruling African National Congress, ANC, and the EFF intensified. Fighting back tears but maintaining an unyielding tone, the widow declared, "You knew what had happened to him. For months we have lived with unanswered questions. We have endured rumors, lies, and silence. And all along you knew what actually occurred. You had answers and you remained silent. I am here today to call for the truth." The room reportedly fell into an eerie silence as her words lingered in the air. The clicking of camera shutters slowed, microphones edged closer for clarity, and every eye fixed on her trembling figure. Even seasoned reporters accustomed to high-pressure press briefings appeared visibly shaken by the gravity of her statement. Witnesses described the atmosphere as electric, a tense mix of disbelief, compassion, and dread, as the widow's accusation directly targeted one of the country's most polarizing and influential political figures. For many South Africans, this appeared to be a defining moment, one that could shift the course of a long-standing and deeply troubling mystery. Political commentators reacted almost immediately, describing the event as one of the most consequential in recent memory. Dr. Lenda Kumalo, a respected political analyst, remarked, "This is unprecedented. We are no longer dealing with whispers or speculation. This is a direct, public accusation with potential legal, political, and social repercussions. It leaves Malema and the EFF in an incredibly exposed position and places immense pressure on both the ruling ANC and opposition parties to respond." Kumalo's words echoed across media outlets, framing the development as a possible turning point in South African politics. Undeterred, Nathi's widow continued her emotional address. Her voice faltered at times, yet her determination remained unmistakable. She recounted the painful weeks and months that followed her husband's death, a period filled with confusion, despair, and unanswered questions. "We were asked to be patient, to have faith in the process," she said, her voice quivering. "But trust is not freely given. It must be earned. And for months, nobody gave us answers. Nobody told us what really happened. We were left with gossip, agony, and silence. Julius, it's time the truth came out. The country needs answers. I need answers, and I will not rest until they are forthcoming." Her plea struck a chord across the nation, particularly among ordinary South Africans weary of corruption scandals, opaque investigations, and political cover-ups. Many saw her words not merely as a personal appeal but as a powerful demand for accountability from institutions long accused of shielding the powerful. The timing of her speech only intensified its impact. Just weeks earlier, renewed calls had surfaced to reopen investigations into Nathi's controversial death. Her remarks reignited the debate, injecting raw emotion into an already heated political climate. Behind the scenes, both major political parties scrambled to contain the fallout. Within the ANC, insiders reported urgent crisis meetings as senior officials struggled to assess the potential damage and craft a unified response. Some advised restraint, warning that public statements could further inflame tensions, while others pushed for an internal inquiry to distance the party from the growing scandal. No one expected this to come back with such force, an unnamed source revealed. The timing, the emotion, the public outrage, it's a storm the ANC wasn't ready for. Meanwhile, the EFF found itself at the center of an unprecedented political storm. Party insiders disclosed that Julius Malema spent several hours in closed-door meetings with his top advisors following the press conference. While some anticipated a fiery public rebuttal, others urged caution, recommending he seek legal counsel first. To date, Malema has remained silent, a move some interpret as calculated, while critics view it as suspicious. Legal experts, too, have weighed in, warning that the situation could escalate into a full-blown political and judicial crisis. "We are navigating dangerous ground here," said Johannesburg-based constitutional lawyer advocate Thabo Miko. Accusations that a political leader covered up a death could trigger numerous legal consequences, from defamation suits to criminal investigations. Everything will depend on whether evidence supports the widow's claims and how both sides manage the aftermath. Social media quickly erupted into a battleground of opinion. Within minutes, hashtags #Ike, #JusticeForNat, #TruthForNatima, and #Malema were trending across platforms. Thousands of users expressed solidarity with the widow, demanding transparency and a full investigation from both the ANC and EFF. Others defended Malema, arguing that baseless public accusations could damage reputations and destabilize the nation's fragile political balance. Influencers, activists, and public figures amplified the widow's voice, calling for truth and justice. On the streets of Pretoria, emotions ran high. Small groups of protesters gathered outside the union buildings, waving placards reading "We deserve the truth" and "Justice for Natima." Civil society organizations mobilized rapidly, urging the police and national prosecutors to reopen the case. Several human rights attorneys volunteered to represent the widow pro bono, describing her courage as a spark for national accountability. At the press conference, she reaffirmed her purpose: "This is not about politics. This is about truth. This is about holding accountable those who are responsible, and ensuring that no one, no matter how powerful, can escape justice. South Africans are entitled to know the truth, and I will continue to fight until all the questions have been answered." Her passionate declaration has since been replayed endlessly on television and radio, becoming a rallying cry for citizens disillusioned by corruption and secrecy at the highest levels of power. As days pass, pressure continues to mount. Media outlets dissect every possible angle, from Natima's final days to Malema's political connections and financial dealings. Analysts predict that the scandal could reshape future elections, influence voter sentiment, and expose deep divisions within party ranks. Within the ANC, officials fear that the controversy could reveal entrenched rivalries and long-hidden corruption networks. But for the widow, this struggle remains deeply personal. Friends describe her as tireless, poring over documents, meeting with investigators, and speaking to journalists in her relentless pursuit of truth. "She's not only doing this for herself," one family friend confided. "She's doing it for her children, for her husband's legacy, and for every South African who has ever been silenced by power." As the nation collectively holds its breath, one question dominates the conversation: will Julius Malema finally break his silence? Will he deny the allegations, offer an explanation, or reveal something even more shocking? Whatever his next move, one thing is clear: South Africa stands at a crossroads. The widow's brave confrontation has reignited urgent debates about integrity, accountability, and transparency in politics. As the story unfolds, it has evolved from a personal tragedy into a national reckoning, a reflection of a society's struggle for truth in the face of power. The mystery surrounding Natima's death has entered a volatile new chapter, one that promises to make headlines, spark investigations, and keep South Africa in suspense for weeks to come. Whether it concludes in revelation, justice, or deeper controversy remains uncertain. Yet for now, the widow's words continue to echo across the nation, stirring emotions, shaking leadership, and reminding everyone that even in the darkest halls of authority, the truth will always find its voice.